Hi, my name is Susan Purcell, and this is a content analysis of the portrayal of Syrian refugees after the Paris attacks within the Huffington Post. Why the fear? The media is notorious for playing on the fears of people. So many outlets like CNN and Fox News are known to present information which invokes fear in people. In light of the Paris attacks, many U.S. citizens began to fear that they were next. This fear is geared towards the Middle East, and with Syrian passports being found, though deemed forged, with the Boston bombers, many fears have become directed towards letting Syrian refugees in. The coverage within the media has not helped in reducing this fear, and the result has come in the form of politicians pushing to deny Syrian refugees in their states, though that is illegal. The coverage from the Huffington Post, however, is geared towards ending this fear and exposing politicians who have illegally chosen to deny refugees. The articles I have chosen both occur after the Paris terror attacks. I chose them based on their imagery and wording, which is used to counteract the ideas being promoted in other media outlets. My units of analysis include wording and imagery. Wording would be the connotations of words, phrasing, and writer's tone. Imagery would be connotations and subject matter. Using this information, I will identify how, in two separate articles, authors from the Huffington Post present their information to reduce fear around Syrian refugees, to push for their safe acceptance into the United States, and showcase politicians which are denying refugees illegally. In the first article, "These are the dangerous refugees you've been hearing about," the author from the Huffington Post not only uses words, but imagery to show who the people are exactly fearing. Here you can see imagery of healthy young adults, disabled adolescents, infants, and elderly who need access to good health care and shelter. These images and phrases show how Syrian refugees are just people in need of a safe place to live and that they require health services. Phrases like seek better medical care, wearing an inhaler mask, speaking fluent English, waits to be carried from the shoreline to the road, and after a rough crossing that left most of the passengers cold and terrified, showcase that Syrian refugees pose no danger. Beginning from the headline, you can see how the author takes a sarcastic tone with the use of quotations to exemplify his idea that finding Syrian refugees dangerous is nonsensical. By utilizing words like supposed and phrasing as although not the Christian ones and some Republicans, the author conveys his beliefs that politicians like Governor Mike Huckabee have a bias. Phrases like recoiling in fear and Islamophobia, as well as fear-mongering, express disgust and disdain that the author has for Governor Huckabee's ideologies, as well as for people who support ideologies like that of Governor Huckabee's. These terms and phrases also expresses how he finds politicians to be acting cowardly, as well as expresses the author's agitation with the American public and anger towards politicians for providing the basis of fear. The author in the second article, "Texas Threatens to Sue Aid Groups That Help Syrian Refugees," is written with the majority of quotes based off of the communication between the International Rescue Committee, the Executive Commissioner of Texas, and Governor Greg Abbott. The governor's expressions are very concrete in tone. The phrase "will not accept any" is very definite and serious in tone. His use of the word demand expresses severity in his statement. The next quote is a letter from the Texas Commissioner to the International Rescue Committee. It not only takes a very serious tone, but a very threatening one as well, with phrases like "if you remain unwilling," and "we strongly believe that a failure to cooperate with the state violates federal law and your contract with the state." This phrasing urges organizations not to help the refugee. The author has a very passive presence throughout this entire article and takes a very calm tone when stating that governors have no more power to bar refugees from entering the United States than they do barring a United States citizen. In conclusion, the Huffington Post presents its information by painting Syrians in a brighter light and governors in a much darker light. By using adjectives like cold and terrified, the author identifies Syrian refugees as people who need our assistance. Other wording and phrases associated with the images of Syrian refugees show that they are just regular people who need access to medical care and a safe place to live. The governors, however, are painted as people who are encouraging fear and declaring war on refugees. By using words like fearmongers and Islamophobic, the authors describe governors as people who are expressing bias and promoting fear within the public of Syrian refugees. It is clear through the author's tone throughout each article that they find the opinions and bias of the governors, as well as direct quotations, to be uncalled for and nonsensical. This concludes my presentation. Here I have the direct links to the articles which I used, and thank you for watching.